Alice just showed you in the author she talked about. Raise your hand if you can tell me what author we talked about. Kaden.
Mo Williams.
Yes. And this story is written by him also. And this is called Goldilocks and the Three Dinosaurs. You know, sometimes in class, and Miss Hollis already, we talk about this, the different types of stories there are in books that we read, our AR books. Can anybody tell me what I'm talking about? What am I talking about, Caroline?
You're talking about the books we check out.
Yes. What types, genres? You know, there are, remember Miss Cronin says you can either get this kind or this kind.
You're talking about the grade level.
Yes, Blake said it, fiction or nonfiction. This is a fiction story. What do we know about fiction?
Made
It's made
up.
up. And the type of this story is a fairy tale. So I want you to listen. Raise your hand if you've ever heard the story Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We all know that?
Yeah.
This is kind of similar. So in your mind, I want you thinking about that story while you hear it,
Miss
okay?
Carmen, I know this.
So what kind of story is this?
Fiction.
Fiction, and it's a fairy tale. Goldilocks and the Three Dinosaurs, as retold by Mo Williams. Once upon a time, there were three dinosaurs: Papa Dinosaur, Mama Dinosaur, and some other dinosaur who happened to be visiting from Norway. Home, sweet home, dinosaur home. One day, for no particular reason, three dinosaurs made up their beds, positioned their chairs just so, and cooked 3 bowls of delicious chocolate pudding at varying temperatures. Now, in the real story, what did they really cook? Porridge. So, be thinking about that, okay? Oh boy, said Papa Dinosaur in his loud, booming voice, it's finally time to leave and go to the, someplace else. Yes, continued Mama Dinosaur, I sure hope no innocent little succulent child happens to be in our unlocked home while we are, someplace else. Then, all of a sudden, another dinosaur made a loud noise that sounded like a big evil laugh, but was probably just a polite Norwegian expression. Arr, arr, ooh, ooh. And I'm not very good at those dinosaur sounds, but he's making a silly laugh. The three dinosaurs went someplace else and were definitely not hiding in the woods, waiting for an unsuspecting kid to come by. Okay, so let's talk about what's happening so far. What happens? What's happening in the story? Molly, tell us in your words.
They're hoping that no one will come in while they're in the woods hiding. Like they said they weren't. And then
Who is they?
The dinosaurs. And they're going to capture that kid.
And what do they have cooked?
Chocolate pudding.
Let's find out what happened. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, a poorly supervised little girl named Goldilocks came traipsing along. Just then in the forest, boomed with what could have been a dinosaur yelling, "Gotcha!" But I'm pretty sure it was just the wind. The loud noise was immediately followed by another loud noise that sounded kind of like, "Be patient, Papa Dinosaur. The trap is not yet sprung." But that could have been a squirrel or a rock falling. Either way, Goldilocks was not the type of little girl who listened to anyone or anything. For example, Goldilocks never listens to warning about the dangers of barging into strange, enormous houses. So as soon as Goldilocks came across a strange, enormous house, she barged right on in. Sounds like Goldilocks doesn't follow directions, does she? Doesn't mind.
She was big to somebody exactly.
And it's not good that she's not supervised, is it? Inside, Goldilocks immediately smelled 3 bowls of delicious chocolate pudding. Said Goldilocks. That chocolate pudding smells delicious. If only I could get all the way up to the top of that counter. Then Goldilocks noticed a very tall ladder that just happened to be there and certainly wasn't left on purpose. Was it left on purpose?
Yes.
Goldilocks climbed up the ladder and found herself face to face with 3 gigantic bowls of chocolate pudding. First bowl of chocolate pudding was too hot, but Goldilocks ate it all anyways because, hey, it's chocolate pudding, right? The second bowl of chocolate pudding was too cold, but who cares about temperature when you've got a big bowl of chocolate pudding? Not her, and you can see her dipping her face down in it. The third bowl of chocolate pudding was just right, but Goldilocks was on such a roll by now, she hardly even noticed. And I love these illustrations, because see how she's like laid into the bowl? That helps you to know that it's fiction too, because can a person really fit into a bowl?
No.
See how they use their illustrations to help tell the story?
I'm not sure about that.
Soon, Goldilocks was stuffed like one of those delicious chocolate-filled little girl bonbons, which, by the way, are totally not the favorite things in the whole wide world for a hungry dinosaur. Tired and groggy, Goldilocks noticed 3 chairs in the living room, so she climbed down to the ladder and walked out of the kitchen. The first chair was too tall. The second chair was too tall. But the third chair?
Miss Carter, I saw a cookie box and it had a blue in it.
It was too tall. Goldilocks wasn't going to climb that high just to sit in some chair, so she hiked over to the bedroom. When she got there, Goldilocks noticed that the beds were also gigantically big. What is going on around here? Groaned the exhausted little girl. The bears that live here must be nuts. So what does Goldilocks think that live there?
Bears.
Why would you go into a bear house?
She don't care, does she?
Any dinosaur?
Just then, the room filled with a loud, booming noise that was either a passing truck or a dinosaur gloating. A few more minutes, and she will be asleep. Delicious, chocolate-filled little girl bonbons are yummier when they are rested. Even a little girl who never listens to anyone or anything had to hear that.
Oh no, in the windows.
Like, you can see.
Goldilocks took a minute to stop and think, which was longer than she was used to stopping and thinking. Hey, she told herself, this isn't some bear's house. This is some dinosaur's house. Say what you like about Goldilocks, but she was no fool. As quickly as she could, she ran out the back door and she got out of there. Just then, a loud plane flew by, which sounded pretty much like a trio of dinosaurs yelling, "Now! Charge!" Or the Norwegian expression, "Chewy bon time." Suddenly, and completely coincidentally, 3 dinosaurs rushed through the front door. But they were too late.
Why not go out the back and chase out?
Goldilocks was gone, and all that was left in the house were 3 disappointed dinosaurs. The end.
Yeah, look at the little dinosaurs crying.
And the moral is, if you ever find yourself in the wrong story, you should leave. Was Goldilocks in the wrong story?
Yeah.
That's pretty cute, isn't it? So, what happened to Goldilocks? Who can tell me what happened to Goldilocks in the story?
She thought it was a bear house, but it was a dinosaur house.
It was, and she realized really quickly the author wanted you to know what about Goldilocks in this story.
She was in the wrong
She was in the wrong story.
And she went back to her real story.
Then who's supposed to be in the 3 dinosaurs?
Do you see how the author just kind of created a whole different level of a fairy tale? So he took one story, which was what, Goldilocks and the 3 bears, and then he made up a whole new fairy tale about Goldilocks and the 3 dinosaurs. And he even put new twists on it, didn't he? So the activity that we're about to do is we're going to do a dinosaur hunt in our classroom.
What's that mean?
I'm going to show you. I have printed off paper dinosaurs just to put a little twist in the activity. These are paper dinosaurs. You are going to walk around the room. I believe there are 8 of them. They're not hidden very hard, and you may already see some. You may only get one. That way, that gives other people a chance to get one. So if you find one, come back to the carpet. Listen, there's no running. There's no pushing. There's no shoving. If you do, you're out of the game, okay? Okay, see if you can find one. Walk quietly. Come back to the carpet if you find one. You can keep looking. I still see some.
I know.
Look around the room. Think about where.
I see lights. Me too. I see one.
Sit on the carpet if you have one. There are only 8, I believe. I still see one. I still see another one.
I still see one. You only want to get one. Aha! Heidi.
I still see another one. Come sit on the carpet if once you find it, okay? Y'all, if you're on this side of the room, you're very cold. If you're on this side of the room, you're warm.
Also, I went over there.
Sit on your bottom and keep them. Chad found it. Okay, I believe that's all of our dinosaurs. So let's come back to the carpet. Let's talk about our next.
I got
Okay.
one. I'm gonna look at this one, but I just got it.
Okay, what I'm gonna listen. Get on your bottom and listen. Okay, catch your bubbles. What I'm gonna let you do. Remember, I'm still gonna give out prizes at the end of the lesson. Okay. What I'm going to let you do is you're going to go back to your seat. And you know, authors and illustrators, wait, in just a minute I'm going to let you go back to your seat. Authors and illustrators, what does an illustrator do?
Write the words.
What's an illustrator do?
Draw
a
picture.
The author writes the story, right?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, you're going to get to be the author and the illustrator, or the illustrator and author, and you are going to give me a new cover page book jacket for it. We're going to pretend we're doing a new story. We're going to pretend we're putting a new twist on it, okay? It's Goldilocks and the 3, whatever you want to create, okay? This is going to get to be your story. But today we're not going to write it. We're just going to come up with the idea. So you could do Goldilocks and the 3 goldfish, Goldilocks and the 3 pigeons, Goldilocks and the 3 babies. Whatever you want to create. So what you're going to do is you're going to fill in the blank that tells what your story's going to be about, and then you're going to draw the illustration, kind of like Mo Williams did for his book cover. Okay? Okay. If you're a girl, I want you to go quietly back to your seat. If you're a boy, I want you to go quietly back to your seat. Go ahead and get your crayons out. We're ready to start the poem. Get your crayons out, okay? I hear great ideas. I'm going to put the book cover up here so you can see it to kind of remember what y'all know what the story's about, though. You have to be creative and come up with a new idea.
Dragons.
Just spell the best you can. How about we will do, I'll write them on the board for you. If you want to, I can help you with it.
I did mine. I did mine already.
Listen, draw your picture and then we'll come back and do the words, okay? Draw what you want it to be.